If asked what we think of Rudra, The Edge of Darkness as a show, we would say that it's quite good, and we were easily entertained for the 6 episodes of it. But now, it's never that simple an opinion when you invest 6 hours in a story. Rudra, The Edge of Darkness is an adaptation of the British series Luther, in which the title character was played by Idris Elba. The show follows highly intelligent criminals who seem impossible to catch for the average cop. But then you have a super cop on the scene who sees what people miss and dares to take risks, going above and beyond what we feel about the show, despite recognizing that it is entertaining and engaging, and that too, for the right reasons, has a lot to do with how remakes are made in India. But we will get to that in a bit. What is the story of Rudra, The Edge of Darkness is? As stated before, Rudra, The Edge of Darkness is about extremely intelligent and suave people committing crimes and then getting caught by someone one step ahead of them in terms of intelligence and humanity. Rudra, the titular character, is the cop who is the best out there. He is very good at his job and has the trust and admiration of his department for that, though there is also an apprehension regarding his mental state, which is not addressed until the later episodes. We see that his marriage has ended and his wife has moved on, though he is still in love with her. For once, if we were to see a brilliant detective on screen, we would like to see him as someone who is capable of having well-adjusted relationships. It's almost as if the silver screen refuses to break out of the prejudice that intelligence and emotion do not go together. There is the character of Aaliyah Choksi, played by Rashi Khanna, a sociopath who has murdered her own family, and is the only one of Rudra's suspects that he was not able to put behind bars. And they end up developing a rapport together, with Aaliyah taking an active interest in the personal and professional life of Rudra. Rudra's ex-wife and her boyfriend, played by Eshadil and Satyadeep Misra, are occasionally affected by Rudra's cases, and are always on the radar of Aaliyah Choksi. Seeing both the actors on the screen makes us feel how underused Eshadil is, and how refreshing it was whenever Satyadeep Misra was in the scenes. They share a chemistry that was surprising, and we hope to see more of them going forward. How did Rudra catch Gautam Navlakha? The ending, true to most crime shows, is about the detective solving a personal tragedy. We see that Rudra has been accused of the murder of his wife, Shaila Durrani, and he is out to prove his innocence and catch the real culprit. We already know that the real murderer is Gautam Navlakha, played by Atul Kulkarni. He was shown as being a good friend and confidant to Rudra in the previous episodes, so his betrayal comes at a personal cost. Shaila's boyfriend, Rajiv, is convinced that Rudra is the killer and is completely grief-stricken. We see Rudra turning to Aaliyah for help, as he believes you need a criminal to understand another criminal, and he has developed a certain wary rapport with her. What follows is Rudra knowingly walking into a trap to meet Gautam in the vicinity of the police, for him to provoke Rudra by referring to how he killed his wife, and how she was crying out for him to save her. This leads Rudra to briefly lose his temper before he flees the scene. The following interrogation of Prabal by Raymond leads to the realization within the police team that Gautam is the culprit. In another scene, we see that Gautam was following Rajiv before he was cornered by Rudra, and they engaged in a fistfight. This is followed by him admitting to his crimes, which is recorded. When Gautam sees this, he flies into a rage and stabs Rudra, though immediately, in the next scene, Rajiv and Aaliyah come out, and the latter shoots him. We can assume that Rudra makes it out of it alive, with his innocence established. What works and what doesn't? What we liked the most about the show was its easygoing quality, which we suspect wasn't intentional but definitely works for it. Compared to other gritty thrillers on the block, Rudra, The Edge of Darkness is missing the wow factor, the thing that makes you go damn, what did he think of that? Also, other than the one exception in the 3rd episode, none of the villains are even remotely charming. They wasted this opportunity with Aaliyah Choksi's character, not to mention how liberal they got with our pet peeve, the overuse of unnecessarily deep dialogues in the one episode that could have made her a fan favorite. Honestly, we thought it was an odd choice to let the criminal escape in the 1st episode itself, so when they were doing it, they should have better established the charismatic genius part of her, rather than just saying it multiple times. This was a risk of sorts because, had Ajay Devgan not been playing the titular role, people would probably have lost interest in the series at this point. Another issue we have with the show, and this is the most important one, is that it was not adequately tailored for Indian audiences. Rudra, The Edge of Darkness felt like Luther made it in Hindi, with some laziness and rushed Indianized tailoring. A show with such a good concept and a supremely talented cast has a lot of potential when you adapt it to a setting like India. But this show fell into the trap of relying on star power to make it work. This turned what could have been an excellent product into a heartbreakingly mediocre one. But despite all our criticism, it's always a delight to see Ajay Devgan in his brooding avatar, saying the dialogues in his trademark husky voice. We were pleasantly surprised to see how much we liked Ashwini Kalsekar, who played Commissioner Dipali Honda. We had gotten so accustomed to seeing her in crazed roles on the small screen that seeing how well she fits into the role of an authoritative and dignified cop makes us feel that she has not quite gotten her due. The murder. Rudra's residence is discovered to be empty. Rudra's wife, Shaila Durrani, is found dead. Rudra is the target of everyone's suspicion. Rajiv Dattani, on the other hand, discovers the gathering outside Shaila's house and breaks after witnessing her body. Gautam is summoned for a briefing, but he is not included in the probe due to his friendship with Rudra. They want Rudra taken into custody before the word gets out. Meanwhile, Rudra phones Gautam to tell him that he would come for him for the murder of his wife. Dipali interrogates Rajiv, who discloses that Rudra and Shaila were sleeping together. Rudra approaches Aliya and informs her that Shaila is dead and that he did not murder her, and he wants her to assist him. The pursuit. Dipali is forced to listen to the tape of Gautam's call with Rudra. Raymond travels to the crime site, where Prabal receives a call from Rudra, and the gun is discovered in the Block 17 gutter while they converse. Raymond wants to take it to the lab, since he doesn't want it to be contaminated or vanished. Rudra allegedly handed Gautam a gun with his fingerprints on it, and this might be the same one. He inquires whether Aliya is capable of car theft. Then, in a dramatic scene, Rudra and Aliya seize Raymond's gun, and he tosses the gun into the water. Gautam is informed by Prabal that Rudra has taken the gun. Gautam requests that Rudra listen to him, and the two agree to meet at the VT station at 9 a.m. Before meeting Gautam, Rudra and Aliya see someone else. Dipali inquires Prabal on whether Rudra was the one who assaulted them and stole the gun. Dipali, Raymond, and Prabal are informed by Gautam that Rudra wants to meet him. Dipali informs Gautam that tactical support and sharpshooters would cover the whole region as they prepare to capture Rudra. Punishment? Rajiv meets Rudra, smacks him and sobs for Shaila's death. He is urged to arrive by 8:15 a.m. at the police station and is promised that the rest will be taken care of. Despite understanding the plot, Rudra goes to see Gautam. He informs Gautam that the diamonds in his locker have been stolen. Gautam irritates him by claiming that his wife was shouting his name before she died. Rudra strikes him, but Prabal saves him and Rudra flees. Prabal has been detained and is questioned. Gautam pursues Rajiv after he steals the diamonds from the locker room. Raymond realizes that Gautam is the culprit after interrogating Prabal. While following Rajiv, Gautam comes to Rudra. Gautam agrees to his crime, which is recorded after a brief fistfight. Gautam stabs Rudra, but Aliya and Rajiv emerge out of nowhere. While the cops come, Aliya shoots Gautam and he dies. This is the end of Rudra, The Edge of Darkness ending explained. What do you think about Season 2? Share your thoughts in comments box. The original Luther series, based on Neil Cross's books, aired on BBC One for 5 seasons from 2010 to 2019, with a total of 20 episodes shown throughout that period. This implies that Rudra, The Edge of Darkness can use a lot of source material from the original Luther series, while writing the narrative for future installments. Renewals are entirely dependent on the reviews and public demand. When there is enough content to make a second season, this is especially true for Rudra, The Edge of Darkness, which is a re-adaptation of an already established property. The good news is that all of the early reviews have been mostly positive, and viewer reactions online appear to confirm Ajay Devgan's new series' domestic popularity. See below. Based on the production schedule of around 10 months for Season 1, viewers may anticipate Rudra, The Edge of Darkness, to return in late 2022 or early 2023, if the program is renewed for Season 2. However, Devn has already stated that, while Rudra, the Edge of Darkness, is attempting to mimic Luther's success, it would require a completely different strategy in order to be successful in the Indian market.